I'm here with Yazdi, Senior Vice President at Global Business Services at Walmart. Yazdi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much, Karen.
So you've just come off stage at a fireside chat with, I believe, the publisher of Forbes, isn't it? What can you tell me about that? How do you think the conversation went?
I think it went well. We were really focusing on how do we use artificial intelligence in the back office. So stuff where you use AI beyond RPA. It's not only about RPA. Beyond RPA into supervised machine learning, natural language processing, in running accounts payable, accounts receivable, doing the general ledger, compensation benefits, stuff like that. Not the sexy stuff, but this is the boring stuff.
So how do you think it's changing the way people do the boring stuff?
I think it is changing a lot because initially, even if you could automate in the back office, you were only automating what you could prescribe rules for. And RPA really changed that. Now with supervised machine learning, you can even automate what the experts do, which is judgment-based. So you're going beyond rules into judgment. And that is what is really transforming the space.
Okay. So why is this important to an organization like Walmart?
Oh, it is very important to an organization like Walmart because for Walmart to compete, it has to really invest in the consumer experience. So it has to make sure that the consumer can shop wherever they want to. So it has to create omni-channel, it has to create the last mile. And to invest in that, they have to extract cost out of the back office. So it's not only about the cost, but the back office with AI can even create value for the company, can reduce cycle time. So there's a lot of things that Walmart can do. And Walmart is the biggest company in the world. It has 2.5 million employees. And it's got sales of $500 billion. And it's got a lot of costs. And if we can harness those costs with AI and invest in the consumer experience, Walmart could be unbeatable.
So do you see this kind of back office transformation? Do you see it as part of a wider way of competing with e-commerce, or what is the challenge there?
Competing with the leading retailer of e-commerce, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So does that really come down to like supply chains or just driving efficiencies to the point where you can actually still deliver like how does this affect the retail experience on the front end?
My job is not the retail experience. My job is to create value in the back office so that you can invest in the retail experience.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
but it is important, yeah.
So retail has been like the whole sector's kind of been transformed the last 20 years. Why do you think where do you think people should really be prioritizing technology? Do you think the back office is probably the most important, or where do you see the real power lying at the minute?
So most big companies, what they did was they used the back office for wage arbitrage. So send the work to India and Costa Rica, and then forget about it.
Yeah.
And now, even beyond wage arbitrage, you can get a lot more value with artificial intelligence. So people are waking up to that.
So what advice would you give to other enterprises that are trying to get started with transforming their back offices?
A lot of advice. I've been in this area now for 20 years and I have made a lot of mistakes. I think the most important advice is don't automate activities. Think of how you can automate so that you don't even have the work in the first place. So for example, in the shared service, the most effort goes in exception handling. So instead of automating how you manage exceptions, automate in a way that you don't have exceptions in the first place. That's really the biggest advice. The second biggest advice is there's this mad rush to automate right now, and folks have to take a step back to realize what if the automation fails? Because what I see is a lot of folks automating and then not creating a business continuity plan or a disaster recovery if the automation fails. And I've seen stuff where you put something in and 3 months later there's an outage. The folks have left and people don't know how to do the work manually. So these are the two pieces of advice I'd give folks if they're embarking on AI in the back office.
So raising the point of that cultural challenge of kind of sustaining those skill sets in an organization. How do you scale with this? How do you make it something that's sustainable?
No, I think it is a journey. I don't think there's an end game here. I think you've got to really keep abreast of what's happening, experiment a lot, have a portfolio system that allows you to fail quickly and shut off projects before it goes too far. So it's an innovation mindset. it's no longer that shared service automation follows the usual SAP portfolio. It's more a innovation portfolio. It's a completely different ballgame.
So, obviously AI Summit's today and tomorrow, lots of different companies here. What have you really been taken away from the event today?
I think what have we taken away is there is still a lot of learning to be done. I think people are at very different stages. There's no framework. It's a young field, and half the times people are eager to learn, and when they hear things are happening in other companies, they're like, hey, I should be, why am I left behind? But I don't think that people have reached the stage where they're really able to deliver. There's a lot of proof of concept going on. There's a lot of piloting going on. So I think folks should realize that it's not that everyone's being left behind. So I think there's a feeling out there where everyone's like, hey, we should be doing this too.
Is there anything you've seen that you'd like to take away in terms of implementing? There's lots of people here going, we need to do this, we need to do that. Is there anything you've seen like you think I need that?
Yeah, I've definitely seen a few things which are good. I think I'm staying ahead of what's in the future, because the two areas that really impact me is natural language processing and supervised machine learning. So I'm really focused on that area, but I've got to sort of keep my eyes and ears open for what's next, and is that relevant to the shared service area? Because a lot of computer vision, a lot of cool stuff is more in the medical field, it's more in consumer behavior, it's more in retail execution, not in back office. So, but it's a very interesting young subject. I just love it. It's very exciting.
So on the point about the future and what's next, what do you think is next? What would you like to see happen in the field in the next year or so?
No, I think the democratization of AI, wherein I subscribe to few APIs and the algorithms are done for me and I mix and match. I think that needs to accelerate. I think it's a great thing that we're embarking on that. It's that I'm glad that Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google did not sort of keep the stuff to themselves and they shared it, and that's one of the reasons why it has really blown up. I think that should continue, and I think there should be possibly next year there should be a session where they really start off with the basics of AI for, I think, some of the participants. I think it's needed.
Yeah, especially such a large show. Well, Yazdi.
Maybe a previous day, half a day, like, come for 3 hours. We'll talk to you as if you're a 7-year-old who's never heard of AI, and we're going to really explain what it is. Start from the very basics. I think that would be good.
Yeah. Well, baby stage. Well, Yazdi, thanks for talking to me today. It's been really enlightening.
Thank you, Karan.